Good morning. We're back with Joshua chapter 8. The Israelites defeat Ai, or Aya, however you pronounce that. Then the Lord said to Joshua, "Do not be afraid or discouraged. Take the entire army and attack Ai, for I have been for I have given to you the king of Ai, his people, his city, and his land. You will destroy them as you destroyed Jericho and his king. But this time you may keep the captured goods and the cattle for yourselves. Set an ambush behind the city." So Joshua and the army of Israel set out to attack Ai. Joshua chose 30,000 fighting men and sent them out at night with these orders: hide in ambush close behind the city and be ready for action. When your main army attacks, the men of Ai will come out to fight as they did before, and we will run away from them. We will let them chase us until they have all left the city, for they will say, "The Israelites are running away from us as they did before." Then you will jump up from your ambush, and take possession of the city, for the Lord your God will give it to you. Set the city on fire as the Lord has commanded. You have orders. So they left that night and lay in ambush between Bethel and the west side of Ai. But Joshua remained among the people in the camp that night. Early the next morning, Joshua roused his men and started toward Ai, accompanied by the leaders of Israel. They camped down on the north side of Ai with a valley between them and the city. That night, Joshua sent 5,000 men to lie in ambush between Bethel and Ai on the west side of the city. They stationed the main army on the north side and the ambush west side of the city. Joshua himself spent that night in the valley. When the king of Ai saw the Israelites across the valley, he and all the army hurriedly went out early the next morning and attacked the Israelites at a place overlooking the Jordan Valley. But he didn't realize there was an ambush behind the city. Joshua and the Israelite army fled toward the wilderness as though they were badly beaten. All the men of the city were called out to chase after them. In this way, they were lured away from the city. There was not a man left in Ai or Bethel who did not chase away the Israelites, and the city was left wide open. Then the Lord said to Joshua, "Point your spear toward Ai, for I will give you the city." Joshua did as he commanded. As soon as Joshua gave the signal, the men in ambush jumped up, poured into the city. They quickly captured it and set it on fire. When the men of Ai looked behind them, smoke from the city was filling the sky, and they had nowhere to go. For the Israelites had fled in the same direction of the wilderness, now turned on their pursuers. When Joshua and the other Israelites saw the ambush had succeeded and the smoke was risen from the city, they turned and attacked the men of Ai. Then the Israelites who were inside the city came out and started killing the enemy from the rear. So the men of Ai were caught in a trap, and all of them died. Not a single person survived or escaped. Only the king of Ai was taken alive and brought to Joshua. When the Israelite army finished killing all the men outside the city, they went back and finished off everyone inside. So the entire population of Ai was wiped out that day, 12,000 in all. For Joshua kept holding out his spear until everyone who had lived in Ai was completely destroyed. Only the cattle and the treasures of the city were not destroyed, for the Israelites kept these for themselves, as the Lord had commanded Joshua. So Ai became a permanent mound of ruins, desolate to this very day. Joshua hung the king of Ai on a tree and left him there until evening. At sunset, the Israelites took the body down and threw it in front of the city gate. They piled a great heap of stones over him that can still be seen today. The Lord's covenant renewed. Then Joshua built an altar to the Lord, the God of Israel, on Mount Ebal. He followed the instructions that Moses, the Lord's servant, had written in the book of law. "Make me an altar from stones that are uncut and have not been shaped with iron tools." Then on the altar they presented burnt offerings and peace offerings to the Lord. And as the Israelites watched, Joshua copied the law of Moses on the stones of the altar. Then all the Israelites, foreigners, citizens alike, along with the leaders, officers, judges, were divided into two groups. One group stood at the foot of the Mount Gershom, and the other at the foot of Mount Ebal. Each group faced the other, and between them stood the Levitical priests carrying the Ark of the Lord's covenant. This was all done according to the instructions Moses, the servant of the Lord, had given for blessing the people of Israel. Joshua then read to them all the blessings and curses that Moses had written in the book of law. Every command Moses had ever given were read to the entire assembly, including the women and children and the foreigners who lived among the Israelites. Joshua chapter 9. The Gibeonites deceive Israel. Now all the kings west of the Jordan heard about what had happened. They were the kings of the Hittites, Amorites, Canaanites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites, who lived in the hill country in the western foothills and along the coast of the Mediterranean Sea, as far north as the Lebanon Mountains. These kings quickly combined their armies to fight against Joshua and the Israelites. When the people of Gibeon heard what had happened to Jericho and Ai, they resorted to detection to save themselves. They sent ambassadors to Joshua, loading their donkeys with weathered sandalbags and old patched wineskins. They put on ragged clothes and worn out patched sandals, and they took along dry, moldy bread for provisions. When they arrived at the camp of Israel at Gilgal, they told Joshua and the men of Israel, "We have come from a distant land to ask you to make a peace treaty with us." The Israelites replied to these Hivites, "How do we know you don't live nearby? For if you do, you cannot make a treaty with you." They replied, "We will be your servants." "But who are you?" Joshua demanded. "Where did you come from?" They answered, "We are from a very distant country. We have heard of the might of the Lord your God and of all he did in Israel or in Egypt. We have also heard what he did with the two Amorite kings east of the Jordan River, King Sihon of Heshbon and King Og of Bashan, who lived in Ashtaroth. So our leaders and our people instructed us, prepare for a long journey, go we with the people of Israel and declare our people to be their servants and ask for peace. This bread was hot from the ovens when we left, but now, as you can see, it is dry and moldy. These wineskins were new when we filled them, but now they are old and cracked, and our clothing and sandals are worn out from our long, hard trip. So the Israelite leaders examined their bread, but they did not consult the Lord. Then Joshua went ahead and signed a peace treaty with them, and the leaders of Israel ratified their agreement with a binding oath. 3 days later, the facts came out. These people of Gibeon lived nearby. The Israelites set out at once to investigate and reached their towns in 3 days. The names of these towns were Gibeon, Kepharon, Beeroth, and Kiriatha-Jearim. Sorry, I so pronounced those wrong. But the Israelites did not attack the towns, for their leaders made a vow to the Lord, the God of Israel. The people of Israel grumbled against their leaders because of the treaty, but the leaders replied, "We have sworn an oath in the presence of the Lord, the God of Israel. We cannot touch them. We must let them live, for God would be angry with us if we broke an oath. Let them live, but we will make them chop the wood and carry the water for the entire community." So the Israelites kept their promise to the Gibeonites, but Joshua called together the Gibeonite leaders and said, "Why did you lie to us? Why did you say that you live in a distant land when you live right here among us? May you be cursed. From now on, you will chop wood and carry water for the house of my God." They replied, "We did it because we were told that the Lord your God instructed his servant Moses to conquer this entire land and destroy all the people living in it. So we feared for our lives because of you. That is why we have done it. Now we are at your mercy. Do whatever you think is right." Joshua did not allow the people of Israel to kill them, but that day he made the Gibeonites the wood choppers and water carriers for the people of Israel and for the altar of the Lord, wherever the Lord would choose to rebuild it. That arrangement continues to this day. Okay, I'll be back later with chapter 10.